All right, continuing along, we're going to finish taking out this spinal column here. I'm going to cut right behind the tenderloin. But I'm not going to cut it off. Just going to give myself enough room to be able to come inside. Up through the ribs. Meet that cut from the other side that we made up by the feather bones. Got a little ways to go. Okay. So what we're going to have here is going to be a bone-in pork loin, chine bone removed. Okay. So then of course we're going to take the skin off of that later. Let's get to the belly. So we have the belly with the bone in, rib on. So right now what we're looking at here would be a spare rib. The next size down, of course, would be the St. Louis rib. The rib after that would be the Danish. So I'm working down in this area right now. One of the ways, just as a tip from a chef to you, is to make sure that your ribs will always be tender, is to remove this membrane on the inside of the ribs. This will not cook out. It will only get tougher and tougher as it cooks. So we'll do our client a favor. Remove that membrane. Just like that. You can see how tough that is. Okay. So I'm going to cut these ribs off, but I'm going to leave a little meat on there because I want to have a little meat on my spare ribs. You can see the natural seam right here. It depends upon your end result. Do you want to have a little meat on the bone, or do you want to have them cut exactly to the bone? That's going to be your call. But spare ribs that are too lean, don't care for them so much. So, let's say I'm going to cut up high. Trim excess fat off of there. There we go, spare rib. Okay, now we're going to square up our belly. Of course, this would make excellent meat for sausage. There, we're going to come back on this side, square this side up. First, let's remove some of this membrane. Pitch the knife blade up in away from the meat as you remove this connective tissue, silver skin. Some butchers like to square the belly real tight. Use the remainder, again for sausage. I'm going to give it a fairly nice cut down here along the bottom. And then on the top, where actually would be where the nipples are here, we're going to cut right along the bottom there. Square that also. As you see, I'm not creating a lot of waste. I mean, there's not a whole lot of meat here to begin with, but I want to kind of cut back to the meat. Now, when I make my bacon, and you can see that recipe in my cookbook, the Working Garmager, I like to leave the skin on and then cure it with the skin on. And then what I do is I hang it to smoke it. By doing that, I get a full even coating of smoke all the way around without any rip marks, and it doesn't sag through the grid in the smoker. You can hot smoke or cold smoke the pork belly, depending upon what your usage or end result is desired. The key, though, to removing the skin after is while the pork belly is still warm. It comes off very easily. If you wait till you chill it, then it kind of gets, the fat recoagulates into the skin, it gets it very hard to come off. Okay, so that looks pretty nice. Good. Thank you very much. Enjoy my book.